Welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm also going to go ahead and mute everyone. So speakers, when it's your turn to talk, make sure you hit unmute. I will continue admitting people from the waiting room, but go ahead and send those reminder messages. We know life is busy, and my dogs are going to fight right below my feet right now. Life is busy and people forget about these calls. And listen, all you had to do was be on last week's call to know that these calls are so worth it. We had a great call last week with Brooke Knitz. If you've not watched that yet, it is on my YouTube channel, and the link was posted in Building Freedom, and I'm sure also on team pages. So make sure that you are getting all caught up on these team calls. We have got something super special for you guys tonight. But first, while we're waiting for a few more people to hop on, go ahead. It is freezing in Texas, literally freezing. We got sleet and snow and a little bit of everything today. Tell me in the comments, how cold is it where you are? Just let me know. Y'all are probably like, Texas girl, you need to toughen up. Because some of y'all are up there way up north, and you think us weenies in Texas, when it gets 30 degrees and we're freezing, you're laughing at us. But it's cold, y'all. So I'm like already in my nice little, -7 with 2 feet of snow in Wyoming. Nikki wins the weather. Way to go, Nikki. Proud of you. But yes, it is cold. My theory is after Christmas, it needs to be springtime. Christmas is over. Let's warm it up. Let's get to springtime. Yeah, some of y'all talking about how it's 60 degrees where you're at. Lucky dogs. It is not that here in Dallas. We are cold. I also wanted to just ask before we get this call started, my fellow Diamonds, Sunday, Jana, and then I'm going to turn this over to Stephanie here in just a minute. Do you guys have any announcements, anything you want to share, anything you want to just tell our team while we're waiting?
I can't think of anything. I'm excited for tonight. Excited to see all of you on here, and excited to see how many more of you earn your boots this month. I saw a bunch of you earning them today, so that was super exciting, and just can't wait to see where we end this month.
Yes, if you've earned your boots, put it in the chat and tell us if you're getting cowboy boots or Uggs, and tell us what color you're going to get. I'm super excited to see everyone in Nashville sporting our cool little boots. Are we going to go boot scooting? Right? That's what you're supposed to do when you get your cowboy boots on, or I guess cowgirl boots. But we're going to go do some boot scooting boogie up there in Nashville, and I am excited. Make sure you're registered for convention. We say it every week, and we do that on purpose. We can't stress it enough. Leaders are born at events, and convention is our biggest event. And I'm so excited for it this year in Nashville. I am really pumped about our speaker tonight. I'm going to turn this call over to Stephanie. Take it away, but I'm excited. Guys, grab yourselves a pen and paper so that you don't miss a thing. Stephanie, take it away.
Yes. Okay. Yay. So I'm very excited because Megan is a friend of mine. We met, I can't even remember what year it was, but we met at Jewel Training, and she had one of her little boys. I can't remember which one it was. Was it your last little boy? Okay. You're her last son, and he was just a baby there, and she had him on her hip, and he was great. And that's what I love. You know, we're at corporate training and you get to take your kids. Like, how amazing. And she's been amazing. She's been an inspiration. If you like, you'll find out tonight just how encouraging and just down to earth. And just so she just makes you want to be a special, she makes you want to be a special person. She just wants to make you be a better person. And she and her husband are both diamonds, so they know what they're doing. And so I'm not going to talk anymore. Megan, I'm going to hand it over to you. And so go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Thank you for having me on. I don't know if I was supposed to bring a baby to that, but they didn't kick me out or him out. So, so I just rolled with it. Hilarious. I look back and I'm like, wow, I was like really just kind of pack the baby and win. I was actually wanting to go to that Jewel Training in July, but he was due at the first week of August. And I was just like, I don't really feel peace about this. And I'm thankful I didn't, because he was born like 10 days early. So I hit the next Jewel training in November. But anyways, so yes, by way of introduction, I am a Diamond Sr.Ruby ambassador with Plexus. I started in 2015, not to work a business, simply to get healthy from toxic mold exposure and health issues I was having. I am a mom of 7. We homeschool. We live like in the country, just a little bit, well, basically right next to my family farm, my parents' farm. And we live in East Central Illinois, so about out in the boondocks, but we have been able to grow this business, and God has blessed the work of our hands. And I love to tell people that Plexus is part of my life, but it's not my whole life. And we really truly feel that the Lord allowed this opportunity to just come in at the perfect time. For whatever reason, I think God opened our eyes to see that we could, take advantage of the opportunity, because we were actually looking for one, but never in a million years would have ever picked network marketing out of the hat. My husband at the time was a road construction supervisor. We had 5 children back in 2015, and we were just praying for a way for him to transition out of his position, because he was kind of capped financially. It was a great company, he was making good money, but he was just never home. Like 10 months out of the year, it was kind of like farming season, but 10 months out of the year. If any of you are farmers, I don't know, but it was go time all the time. He was just gone from dark to dark, and we're like, this is not conducive for large family life. Like, we need you home more. So we were thinking like he would have his own contracting business and be able to work with the boys or whatever, but little did we know, me starting Plexus, and then he was my guinea pig, willing to try the products. Of course, he like, pack them on lunch, I'll take them. So I started to see some changes in my health, and it was really the 2nd month in that I gave our 4-year-old the Superman probiotic ProBio 5, just 1 capsule a night. And within a month, his eczema was gone. And I finally discovered the link between gut health and skin health. It had taken me so long. And I was just like, the angels are singing. All the moms need to know about this. I am excited. And now, mind you, I was still in process with my own health, because I had worked for almost 2 years with a local naturopath trying to heal myself from this mold stuff. Like, it's no joke. I had an autoimmune thyroid issue. I had anxiety. I think it was like physiological anxiety from toxicity. For the first time ever in my life, I was, just the couch mom, not feeling good. It's kind of like that feeling of like when you're first pregnant and you just feel yucky and just want to crawl under the covers for like the whole day. That's how I was feeling, except I wasn't pregnant. And I was like, okay, something is wrong in my body. So worked with a naturopath, heard about Plexus around the same time we figured out we had mold in our house. And I started working with a naturopath. So for almost 2 years, I had different people dripping on me about Plexus. And it wasn't until personal friends in my circle started posting about it on Facebook. And they were talking about gut health. And I was like, finally, the light bulb went off for me, because they're like, I started to have more and more friends like, hey, Megan, you need to look into Plexus. Hey, Megan, it's gut health. It's what you would totally track with. Because for whatever reason, in my mind, I equated Plexus with weight loss, Plexus with diabetics. Like, those were the 2 overarching things in my head. And so I had just mentally dismissed it, like, well, cool, but that's not going to work for me. And so anyways, when I realized it was all about gut health, I was like, I'm in. Game on. So again, I didn't start for business, but it didn't take me long, as I was like binge listening to YouTube videos about how and why ProBio 5 worked, that I just naturally cabbaged onto Sonia Dudley and Charlotte Seams and Brenda Martin and different people talking about Power of 3. I was also added to Jessica Heffley's team page. So don't ever not add your sweet little wholesale people to a good team page, because I was very intrigued with the add 3, get $100, go silver. Well, I was like, well, I think I could get 20 people on my team in my first year. Like in my mind, like I'm starting to entertain these thoughts, because I was already helping people with their health, actually. So it made so much sense to me to like, well, I know that we're going to use the products, and I'm sure I could refer at least 20 people, because I help with people with their health anyways. I just refer them to the health food store, and I don't get a kickback, and they don't get a money back guarantee. So just in so many ways, it made sense to me. So let me see. It took me like 4 to 6 months to have results, but I didn't wait to share. That's the thing. People tell me, I get these objections like, well, I'll share, but I got to have results first. I'm like, you don't need results in order for your friend to see health results. They don't need your testimony in order for it to work for them. So I'll often just counter that objection that people so often have. And I do it graciously, and I just say, hey, I totally understand how you're feeling about that, but I do know that I started to share like pretty soon into my journey. And I'm so glad I did, because if I would have waited 6 months before I had like this whole laundry list of things that I no longer dealt with, I would have missed out on a lot of those people that I could have helped. So anyways, I started to share. I went silver. So I started Valentine's Day of 2015. I went silver in April. So I didn't fast start silver. You can still be a diamond even if you don't fast start, right? Although now I'm way more proactive about helping people get those fast start bonuses, because they're so amazing. And they're really, really like, that gives you plenty of time, when you look at the timeline of that. So I overcame so many fears. Like, you guys see me now, 8 years later, I'm a very different person, like in a good way, because back then I was so timid. I was very introverted. I was very held back by fear. My mom would even tell you that as a kid, like my besetting sin, definitely fear. So isn't it interesting how God brings things into our life to sanctify us and teach us lessons? And so Plexus has been a catalyst for me for spiritual growth and for personal growth. And I'm so glad that the Lord brought it. So I was afraid of people thinking I was trying to sell them something, and I was afraid of being annoying. But it was really interesting because my brain offered me those thoughts, but I also countered it with some other thoughts. And those other thoughts were ones that I really chose to take action from. And those thoughts were, who do I know that could be blessed by this? Who could I help? And I also thought about, they're going to come back and thank me for sharing with them. I don't know why that's just like a thought that came to me that I just used. Like, I don't know who needs this, but God does, and he can give me this divine insight to who needs this. And so I specifically prayed that God would, these are things that you could write down. I prayed that God would bless the work of my hands, and that he would send us people that needed the business or the products, and that he would magnify the hours of my day. And the bless the work of my hands thing is taken from Psalm 90. You can go look at that scripture, but those were specific prayers that I prayed. And then I took massive action. So it was massive action plus prayers of faith, plus a high resiliency tolerance. So I did not let people's no or lack of response hold me back. I just was like, I would sit down at nap time when my kids were napping with like pages of names, because like God would give me names and I would write them down on scraps of paper. And I had like tons of little papers all over my house. And so then when I was nursing a baby or kids went down to take a nap, I would just sit down with like my notebook of names and I would message people. And maybe that goes against this whole just message 2 people a day and be consistent with it. Like, I didn't do that. I would just sit down and massively message people. And it worked. I heard back from probably maybe 5 or 10% of people. And it's totally fine if that's your percentage. Like, it's worked for me. But it's a filtering process, right? Some of those people message me 5 years later and they're like, hey, you reached out to me like 5 years ago and I need Plexus now. Or, hey, I'm interested in the business. People cold message me. Even now, they have someone messaged me out of the blue last week and said, hey, I want to work this business. And so that's why it is so important to show up consistently, to not grow weary of well-doing in your posting, to come into your business with a excitement, with an expectancy that feeds and fuels and like is the catalyst and like the spark behind everything you do. It comes through on your messaging. It comes through when you're in person with people. It comes through in your stories. It comes through in your posts. It's crazy, but I'm just telling you, if you feel like you're kind of like in a lull or at a plateau, go look at some of your old posts. The graphics or whatever might not be amazing, but you'll feel like a behind them. because there's this like excitement. And so if you feel like you've lost that, go back to like where you were 2 years ago when you started, or 5 years ago when you started, and get that little spark back and ask the Lord. I personally believe in asking the Lord to just divinely inspire you in light of who to reach out to, what to say, even like creative ideas. Don't underestimate the power of tapping into your own intuition. And you have ideas, but you need to ask yourself, like, give yourself white space. For me personally, I have great ideas when I'm in the shower, when I'm walking, or when I'm doing dishes. And maybe also when I'm cleaning. But my kids do so much of the work around the house now. I don't do as much of that stuff, but those are times where I get lots of good ideas. And sometimes it's just a matter of asking a question. For example, I have a couple of new fast start goals, and one of them is getting really, really close to senior gold. She thought that she would just blow past it, but she's like, 200 points or maybe 196. And I'm like, it's only 10 orders. I mean, completely doable, completely possible. So then I was like, what can we do? So I came up with an idea. I'm like, hey, it's only weird if it doesn't work. And even if it doesn't work, I mean, at least we tried something, right? Because sometimes you have this brainy idea and your brain tells you all the reasons why it won't work. And so then you don't do the action. Instead of being like, well, what's the best thing that could happen? What if I did do it? And what if there was some fruit from it? So what I did today was make a little graphic. It said, bless a friend incentive. And then it's just where she and I basically are splitting and doing like a double BBB for these people if they bless a friend, and meaning they refer a friend and sign them up. Now, if they refer 3 friends, then they'll get the boots and they'll get the $300 fast start bonus, right? Because her people are in that window still. So I was like, well, you want to blitz that out to your wholesale people and see what happens? Like, it might be the best thing ever. Who knows? Because, a lot of times when these girls are going faster, senior silver and gold, they're doing a lot of it themselves. So my goal is to get them duplicating, right? Getting this plus ones, getting a friend to bless a friend, or a mom, or their mom, or their husband or someone, right? Just to get the duplication starting at some level. And it starts with just having the conversation or blitzing out the little fund incentive to just see what happens, right? Okay. A couple of things I wrote down is, you don't have to sacrifice the things most important to you. I truly believe you can have an intact marriage, an amazing marriage, disciple your children, train them up if that's the season that you're in. That's the season I'm in currently, and have a thriving business. And I think most of us are women on this call. I believe God has equipped women to be able to juggle a lot. Have you ever noticed like how we as women can like kind of wear 20 different hats in any given day? But that's, instead of feeling so overwhelmed by that, what if we express gratitude, like, Lord, thank you for allowing me to be able to put on different hats throughout the day, and that the day has a flow. And I'm not just one person able to think only in one box at a time, package it up, and then do the next box. Like, we can do multiple things. I'm not saying not to be healthy in multitasking or to get in a ditch in that way, but we can juggle a lot, and we can do it with peace. I truly believe that. We can have success in all the areas. And I will say mindset is so much. I kind of touched on that a little bit. But my thoughts were seriously, all the moms need to know about this with Benjamin's eczema thing. And so it's just really, really interesting how your team dynamics will end up looking. For me personally, I think people look at me and they're like, well, of course you're successful. Large family, large extended family, church circle, friends circle in your local area. I mean, we live in a rural area, but I mean, pretty well known, that kind of thing. But honestly, the reason we have success in Plexus isn't because of my family and isn't because of our close circle. I mean, there's here and there's, some people that order, but it's been really, really interesting, the people that have chosen to work this business. A couple of the jewels on my team are actually my mom's friends. So it's just interesting, and it's a large filtering process. You cannot be afraid, one, to create a lot of messages and to create a lot of conversations just to see who's open, where the doors are open. And then from there, not to be so personally offended if someone doesn't respond to you or whatever. We create these stories in our heads, right? About why someone didn't message back or why they said no or whatever. It's just like, don't make it mean anything about, like, about you. It's just like, next, okay, it's a filtering process. And the same goes for people on our team. It's a filtering process to see who's going to go silver, who's going to be the lifers on our team, who's going to, come in, blast in and go fast start gold, and then kind of just go away. That's par for the course. At least that's what I've noticed. But I would say the reason Justin and I have been so successful in Plexus, obviously it takes a team. We've asked the Lord to bless the work of our hands also. But also we have not stopped networking. I did a little audit of our working level ones, and 2/3 of them we did not know 8 years ago. I was floored. I had no idea that percentage was so high, but we've just met people here and there. And I think, and that's also why we have continued to grow, because we've continued to sponsor people. We've continued, and a couple years ago, I felt so overwhelmed with life. What year was that? 2019. I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, not in the sense of like quitting, but just like, I have a large level 1 base. Like, how am I going to help more people if I feel like I'm not doing a good job, even with the people that I have? And what came to me through some coaching that I did was, well, I'm not done helping people yet. And well, I guess that was the main thing. I'm not done helping people yet. And so I just opened up it was really a thought that I was thinking, that I was so overwhelmed. And so from that thought, I was really not taking the action that I needed to be taking, right? And I wasn't dwelling on the right thoughts. And so instead of thinking all the time, I'm so overwhelmed, I was like, well, I'm not done helping people. God's going to continue to bless the work of our hands, right? We believe this is a stewardship gifted by him for us to do. And then I just opened up my mind and I guess my heart for abundance. And it was really interesting. That was the same year we built a home. So life was very busy. I also was like, wow, we're like, the year that we're building a home, like, let's not get pregnant. Can we please just say that? And of course, I had a 2020 baby. And so we built a house, had a baby, and our business was our biggest year yet in Plexus. And isn't it interesting how my shift of perspective changed things that year? So be very aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, because they might be holding you back, or your thoughts could be a catalyst for your biggest year yet in Plexus. And so let's see. I just, I was thinking, so back when I first started, one of the thoughts that my brain offered me was, who would even do this with me? Who would even post on Facebook? Like, obviously you're doing it. I mean, I'm doing it, but like, I don't think any of my friends would be that bold, that open, or whatever to share on Facebook. But what I found is that people will, and that you may not know who those people are yet. Don't forget that word yet. Maybe you don't have a team yet. Maybe you don't have shares yet. But if you are consistent and you're working on your mindset and you're working to up-level your skill set, it's just a matter of yet. Okay. All right, I do have a couple of ideas. Well, before I share that, do I still have time? What time is it? I feel like I'm rambling a lot, but I have a couple of thoughts that have, or some ways I acted that I didn't really think about until I sat down to evaluate, like, why have I been successful? Like, what are some of the characteristics or the things, the character traits or things that have served me well? One of them is I've learned to pivot quickly. Okay, so kind of that figuring out what are the mindsets that are holding me back, right? And then pivoting when I feel like things aren't working, or if it's kind of a slowdown, what do I need to do differently, right? And so when I started to feel like my posting was getting a little bit like, I'm not bringing as many people in via posting, then I was like, okay, maybe I need to do a live video. Live videos have always brought in new blood for me. And so if you're feeling like, I feel like I'm not getting signed ups, do a video. Okay. Also, look at what you're avoiding and resisting. Okay. Because that might clue you into the action that you need to take. Whatever you are avoiding or resisting, you need to go take action on. And I made myself take action on it before my head hit the pillow. Justin told me, he's like, The reason why you're successful is because you will have implemented an idea and already made it better before I have even thought about putting it into action. He's like, I'll sit on an idea for 2 weeks. And he's like, you've already put it into practice and tweaked it and done it again by that 2-week mark. And so that's something that I didn't realize about myself, but he kind of held the mirror and I was like, oh, true. That's interesting. So write down right now, if you are thinking of something that you've been avoiding, okay? And go do it tonight before you go to bed. What's the best that could happen? Okay. All right. Another thing, I acted in spite of my fears. So, I mean, you can do lots of mindset coaching around that, but I guess you might just have to separate your thoughts and your feelings and just go take the action. And often what you'll find is that when you choose when you decide to take an action, your thoughts and your feelings will end up aligning with that action that you just took, especially if you continue to do it over and over and over. And that's where growth comes from, because you learn personal growth by working this business. And then I always had an earbud in. I think that just so influenced my thinking that I began to think like how these people were coaching. And that really helped me because it made me relevant to my team. I was constantly implementing new ideas and it was inspiring me. And so I was working from inspiration. And that earbud in, and congratulations for all of you showing up to your weekly team call, because these are cumulative and they will grow you exponentially. I feel bad for people that are just kind of lukewarm. They hop in when it's convenient, that does not build a business, or not very effectively or efficiently. These calls are cumulative, meaning they add up, and you're building a solid foundation in your mindset by these calls because you're gleaning little tidbits every time. And it's not like this team call is going to be that earth-shattering necessarily, or that one convention, or that one Super Saturday, or that one Gold School, but they build on each other. And so when you add them all up together, that's what makes such a big difference in your success level, because it's just that consistent building over time. So also one thing that I've had in mind is the endurance piece, just signing up for the long game, right? And having that high level activity, being willing to self-coach and self-address, like figuring out what's working and what's not. Every month after the month ends, I'm looking at the month going, okay, let's look at numbers. How did things pan out? What were the wins? What's something that I can pivot on? And then every month looking at goals, and then also reflecting and figuring out what I need to pivot on a little bit, just to get a little bit better every single month. So I know Stephanie asked specifically like duplication tips. I think that's kind of the buzzword. It's one of the 4 pillars. Okay. So we have recruitment, duplication, retention, and leadership. And, we have to get good at retention before or while we're getting better at duplication. Did I say that right? We need to get better at recruitment. Did I say retention? Recruitment is the first thing, right? That's the first thing we have people do, is make a post or whatever, do a live or text 5 friends so that we can get some recruitment. And then from the recruitment, we can duplicate from there. Now, I will say one thing that helps duplication is if you are specifically recruiting business builders. Okay. I built a primarily wholesale team to Sapphire. At least that's what it felt like at the time, just because I didn't know really even how to, like, with who I was, share the business with other people. And it took me just some coaching to recognize, like, this is a business and this is okay that it's a business, and people will join for a business to make money. That's not why I joined, but people will. And if we're always just talking about triplex, guess what we're going to sign up? Triplex customers. Go listen to Trisha Rieger's Diamonds in December call. And like what she shared was so simple, yet so earth-shattering. And like, in order to go sign more business builders, like, guys, we have to we can't just be posting 50-50, 50% business, 50% product. If you want to change it up, you probably need to post more like 75% business and 25% product. unless you want to keep signing lots of triplex customers. So I personally love to sign business builders because I think it's so fun when you're not dragging people along trying to motivate them, but you have self-motivated people who are, wanting to make an income. They are willing to share with people. They have a strong reason why they're doing what they're doing. And so a couple of things I would challenge you with. One is the green light challenge. Okay, that's super simple, but basically you just go to the top of your Facebook, and this is what I will be doing in the next 24 hours to lock in my personal Nashville boots. Is go to the green lights. Well, everybody that's online at that time, set your timer for 10 minutes, several different times in the day, and message your green light people. I mean, obviously, if they're already on Plexus, maybe you wouldn't message them specifically, or if they're a customer or whatever, you can do a follow-up, but message them. And it doesn't have to necessarily be about Plexus. It could be just a connection message if you've never talked to them before. It's not necessarily some sort of perfect magical message that you're going to say, but you're going to connect with them. If it's someone that you just feel like, based off my intuition, I'm just going to cold message them specifically about Plexus. And do cold messages work? Yes, I do them and they work. All right. I don't, that's not the only thing I do, but that's one of the things that I do. And I am not I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about that. To me, people need what we have, and I'm willing to share it with them. And if it's not for them, maybe it'll be for someone that they know and they can connect me to someone. Right. So green light challenge between now and the end of the month to get those last signups going, and also work on the 90-day challenge, which is who you contact and connect with now will feed into what your business and your signups and your connections look like in March, right? And then 100 reach out challenges, they always work. That helps with recruitment, and then recruitment plays into duplication as well. And as for the duplication thing, the thing that I will just encourage you with is to do the PLP. If you don't know what PLP is, it's an acronym for post, live, party. Okay, it's kind of this similar thing that I have said in the past with my team, is like, make a post, make a list, message, invite. Make a post, make a list, message, invite. Anytime that I'm stuck in my business, that's what I go back to. Okay. If you're really working to duplicate on your team, I am positive you have gold in your backyard, so to speak, in your virtual office. If you've been in Plexus for any length of time, you have people that you can go ask to make a post. Okay. That's what the first P stands for. And the way I ask people to make a post is I will just message them and say, hey, I was curious what your wins have been with Plexus so far. And you can even say, like, I'm doing a little just asking for your product experience. I would love to hear what that is. Okay, that's just like a little teaser when they write back and say, oh, hey, blah, 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 and they write out all their wins. From there, then I say, well, hey, would you be willing to post that on Facebook and just tag me? Just do a little shout out, or are you game for posting? I bet you have people in your circle that would totally love to have those same results. What are your thoughts? Okay, that's one way I ask. Another way I ask is maybe they just ordered, and I will say, hey, I know that XYZ are your health goals. If I craft a little post, or a little a little paragraph, would you be willing to post it on Facebook, pop a picture with it, and tag me? Curious if you're open to that. Let's see who we can help. And so I have used this one also. This is a Jordan Roddenberry question. I actually used on my friend Brooke in September, because she was a total dream tamer and signed up. And so I said, she told me on the phone, she's like, I'm not going to post, even though she was like kind of basically joining for the business. She's like, but I'm not going to post. So like a day or two later, I'm like, Brooke, I double dog dare you to post. It was one of those people I felt like I could say that to. Maybe you're not going to say that to everybody, but if it's a close enough friend, or you just have had enough back and forth with them that you're like, hey, double dog dare you, what do you say? Okay, that was a clicker for her. She went and did it. But I will often use that first post as my template. So I'll even blitz it over and say, hey, here's the little post. What do you say? Would you post it? And just tag me. And always have them put a picture with it too. But it's just the, hey friends, I'm so excited about the all natural supplements my friend Megan told me about. It's helped her with XYZ. I'm looking forward to ABC. relief from, whatever health issues that they're having. Or if they've been on the products long enough to notice a win or two, then I will craft the post with their health wins. And then so they're going to make their post, but you're going to actually help them work the post. So anytime they see it, someone comment, someone like it, you're going to be like, oh, you have 5 likes. I'll often screenshot it and send it to them and say, hey, would you send these people this little message? And then I send them what message to send. Hey friend, thank you so much for supporting my post. You are so sweet, like all caps, so sweet. I'm curious if you've ever heard of Plexus, or you can say curious if you have any health goals. There's like a couple different tweaks on that, but just basically help them engage. And then if they get engagement back from that person, then you say, okay, put me in a message with any of the people that respond back to you. And then I'm going to show you what questions I ask and how I get them signed up. Okay, and then they're going to watch you go through that process. You're going to ask for their health goals. You're going to maybe even send them the graphic of the, the Candida overgrowth chart, have them circle which ones they deal with, right? And then from there, lean into their health issues, right? Asking more curious questions. And then from there, you will say, well, hey, would you be game if I sent over a product recommendation for you? La, la, la. You guys are probably aware of that. But anyways, make a post, and then someone's post may completely fall flat, or you may be able to work that post for like a good week or 10 days, okay? It just depends on the person and their social media influence and maybe what time of day they're posting and things like that. From there, you'll have them make a live, okay? And the live is just going to be like 5 things that they've noticed since they started Plexus, 5 wins that they've noticed, but they're going to title the video with the 5 things they used to struggle with. Okay, so it's kind of like clickbait. And you can just even voice message them what their live can sound like. And it can be so awkward, they can even say it's awkward, and it doesn't have to be polished at all. People actually love you more if it's not polished. Some of you listening might be going, I don't think I've ever done a live. So that's what you need to go do. You need to go make a live. Okay, and then the last thing is a party. Okay, so if you have not done a messenger event, a Facebook event, I have success with both of them. I still like both of them. I don't think either of them are obsolete. I just had my friend Laura, who is a local health practitioner. She signed up at Momentum Meetup, and we did an event for her in November. She invited a lot of people, like personally messaged like 200 people, which I know for a new person, that's a little rare, but she has been in network marketing before. So she kind of knows the drill and wasn't scared by sending a lot of invites, personal invites, not just like invite to the group, personal invites first. And then if they said yes, she added them to the group. So from those 200, she got 50 yeses back. And then from there, from the 50 people that were in the group, we signed, I don't know, maybe 9 people by the end of the month. Obviously not from that, just from that one night. There was a lot of follow-up involved, and she put me in 3-way messages with basically everyone that responded back to her. And so her event was very magical and worked really, really well because of those multiple reasons. She also was willing to do anything that I asked her to prep for the event. She did a story, she went live, and she made a post. In the prep part of that, we collaborated, and she went live, I did some posts, and then I went live for the event itself. And then she continued to add and tag people in that event all month long. And I think she's still utilizing the event even now. And so she was able to make $1,600 her first month. She went Fast Start Senior Silver. And that was a huge blessing to her family that month. And she said that she wouldn't have been able to pay her bills without it, because she had just started this health practitioner practice, and it takes so much money to start a business, like a brick and mortar business. Thank goodness for Plexus, right? Low input costs. And then her second month, she made, I think, around $1,000 and went Fast Start Gold. And then now we're working on Fast Start Senior Gold. So the PLP works. And that's what I would encourage you with. Like, it's really not new revelation. It's just taking what we know to do and doing it, and just being willing to sit in the seat, take the chair challenge. The next 24 hours, I'm going to be in my chair or walking on my treadmill, voice messaging or text messaging people. You can be active also. You don't have to just sit in the chair, but those are, that's just my brain space right now. So I hope that was helpful. Totally happy to open it up for Q&A if you guys feel like there's time for that, or if there's any specific questions that you have, Stephanie, happy to chime in.
Yeah, I love that. Good night. That's a lot that I have to go back and watch the replay to really like write things down. I couldn't write fast enough. Thank you so much, Megan. That was awesome.
You're so
And I
welcome.
love the sample messages too. So thank you for adding those in. All right, everybody, does anybody have any questions for Megan? Don't all go at once.
No questions. Oh my goodness.
You covered everything. No, and I love it because, you know,
I have a question.
yay. Okay, yay, Terry.
Hey, golly, Megan, I'm like Stephanie. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a million pages of notes. When you said something about the green light challenge, I think I know what you're talking about. When you said that you're messaging people that are currently on Facebook, are you looking in Messenger that they're on, or is there a place somewhere? Tell me where the green light is.
So if you go into your messenger,
Okay.
like on the top, you'll see like this people's circles.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there's like a green light next to them that shows you who's online at that moment. If you don't have any green dots, you might have some sort of notification thing turned off on your
Okay.
social media. So yeah, that's a
Okay.
great.
Awesome.
And this is something I was telling my Jules this morning. We were on an early morning Zoom, and they were saying, "Oh my word, I've been doing the green light challenge and it's working so well." I was reminded a couple years ago, Trisha Rieger actually inspired me to go do a connection challenge, and that's where you're not messaging them on Facebook Messenger. You're simply going to like your printed out Facebook friends list, which you can download and figure out how to do that. But I took a page a day for the month of July. This was years ago, and you just go to each person's wall and add a comment of value. And a comment of value is not wow or yay. It's like at least 6 words or a question of some sort. Okay. And because I did that, it changed up the algorithm. I think that more other people were seeing my posts actually. And I don't think it was a coincidence that I signed 8 people that month. And I tell you, don't sign that many people a month, but I think it had to do with that connection. And so if some of you are kind of in that, what should I do? Get consistent. And I mean, don't just do it one day, like do it for 30 days or 90 days and see how that changes up your business for you.
Oh, great tip. Thank you.
You're welcome. What do you do when your newbies posts fall flat and they don't get any interest at all? Then you just go to the live next. That's what I would do. I will often also have them text 5 friends. Some people don't have a lot of social media influence, at least yet, because maybe they don't ever interact. They're just like a stalker and they like look at other people's stuff, but they don't ever post themselves. And so that means like people aren't really seeing their post, right? It doesn't mean that they don't have influence in person. And so with a person like that, I might pivot and be like, hey, you have to just like be okay if there's not a lot of comments or likes or whatever. Be like, hey, totally fine. Let's try something else. And then send them a little text that they could text to 5 friends. And it could say something like, hey, I'm doing this reset, this 3-day reset. My friend Megan told me about. I'm super excited. I really want like a friend to do it with me. Would you be game for trying it with me? What are your thoughts? It's on sale right now. Just something simple like that. And then you have them send that to 5 friends. And then when they do that, then you obviously help them with what to say to back with their friends. But then you can kind of work them through that little system. And I feel like just having a system for things helps my brain so much, because it's not like, I'm not going, what do I do next? What do I do next? How do I help them duplicate? It's like, you just go to the next thing. There's a system. There's a little checklist that you work them through. Does that help? Oh, the 4 pillars, it's recruitment, duplication, retention, and then leadership. Going live on your team page is great, and you're adding value to that audience and you're learning to talk in front of people, but it's probably more safe and comfortable than going live on your wall. So Billy Joe, I would challenge you to go live on your wall and maybe reshare your story, like why you came to Plexus or what it's helped you with or why you love it. I love that you cold reach out. Do you have a specific message that you use? Cold message reach outs, to me, just means I hate that word actually. I like to think of it as initiating conversations. And I don't have a problem telling people what's helped me. So it's just a simple, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. I'm actually messaging my Facebook friends today just to let them know about these all natural supplements that have helped our family with a whole litany of things. I was just thinking, you or someone you may know, sorry, I'm like totally stumbling here. You or someone you may know, or I may be able to help you or someone you know with this. Curious if you have any specific health goals, or curious if you'd be open to chatting more about it. That's for health. Now, I've used this one for business and it served me really well. Hey, Chelsea. I love seeing your Facebook posts. Oh my word. It's been a while since we've chatted, but I just wanted to message you really quickly because I think you'd be really, really good at what I do. Would you be open to chatting more about it? And my friend Chelsea said, okay, let's chat. And we did. And she went Fast Start Gold, and she got her husband Fast Start Gold, and she double earned Leaders Retreat last year. And so don't be afraid to just blitz out some sort of like super duper casual like question. And see, I assumed that she saw my posts, and I think she kind of had, but hadn't really paid attention. And so we actually had a really great conversation, and I didn't really even know her that well at that point. I just met her at like a women's luncheon that my dad invited me to over in Springfield, and we had connected there. So don't be afraid to do business reach outs even like that. Hey, I think you'd be really great at what I do. Would you be open to chatting? And then from there, you can't be afraid to move it to a phone conversation. And in the phone conversation, I don't make it like super, I don't feel like I have to have some sort of big answer list or anything. I just ask questions like, do you have, like, to find out their pain points? Like, hey, do you have any specific health goals? And, or do you have any specific financial goals? Or do you have like, would you love to have a second income stream that would provide a certain amount for you? So just getting curious with people to find out how we could best serve them with the opportunity that we have with Plexus. Do you want me to keep going? I don't want to take too much time, Stephanie. We have more questions.
No, you're good. We have one more question, so
Okay.
we can do this one. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. What about the cost objection? I'm on a budget, and I just can't justify and have no friends. Like, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, the cost objection to me just means they don't have enough information. They haven't had enough value added to understand why they need this. And it always makes me laugh, actually, when people say it's too expensive, because that was not my perspective when I started Plexus. Plexus was so much less expensive from what I was doing with the naturopath. Imagine paying for expensive supplements on top of diagnostics, on top of blood work, on top of the naturopath's fee, right? So I was spending thousands of dollars, and none of it was covered by insurance or anything like that, right? And so I always, when people are like, why is it so expensive? Typically they don't tell me that because I have asked so many questions and given them so much information. Either through, I don't throw up Plexus, but like, I'll be like, hey, check out this little video, or, hey, I'm going to add you to this little Facebook group and I'm going to tag you in a couple of posts. You can also search by keyword and just look at some testimonies, or I invite them to a Zoom that we're having or whatever, just to help educate them, because I truly believe that they're informed, then they're not going to think that way, and there's actually very few people where it is truly they can't afford, because if we truly, really, really, really want to purchase something, we can make it work. We can pick up a second shift. We can sell a couple things that are hanging out in our basement. I had one girl actually sell pumpkin bread for like 2 months in the fall to order her triplex welcome pack. And she still orders from me to this day and has like a senior gold team under her because of some specific people under her. She hasn't ever really worked it. But isn't that interesting how people can make some stuff happen if they really, really need to? And so having no friends, that's a thought error, I think. Maybe some people do have a really, really, really small circle, but wealth follows value. And so the more value you add to others, the more wealth you can create. That's just a principle. And so I would challenge all of us to figure out a way to add more value to others, serve others more, expand our networks, meet more people. And the friend thing is truly something that can be fixed easily. You can go network in groups and meet lots of new friends, right? I'll just leave you with this really quick, this thought. We are creating life-changing wealth through serving others and being divinely inspired. We are creating life-changing wealth through serving others and being divinely inspired. All right, friends, I'm so glad that you invited me to share with you tonight. I hope you have a blessed and amazing week. Thanks for listening in, and thank you for your sweet questions. I love those.
Thank you so much, Megan. Good night.
Welcome.
Very good.
Megan, that was, oh, she already
She's
hung up.
off.
Man,
Okay,
she's
I guess she's
fast.
off.
Jeez. But she's like, I got 7 kids, y'all. I'm out of
Right.
here. She ain't wasting no time. That was so good. Stephanie, thank you so much for getting her on our call tonight. I, along like the rest of y'all, took so many notes. That was so good. Are y'all ready to do a drawing and see who won this week? See who won our, now, if you haven't dropped your tracker yet, well, it's a little late now, I'm not gonna lie. We do apologize for posting it so late in the day. My day, and I know Jana's day, has been crazy. We love our dad and we love working for him, but he gets these crazy ideas and he wants to implement them all at one time. And so we're like, no, but it's all good. It's all fun and all the things, but we have been really busy today up at the ministry. So I do apologize dropping that so late in the day, but a lot of you guys dropped your trackers, and y'all, we had some really high points this week. I'm going to do a few shout outs. Where's Billy Joe? There she is. Billy Joe had 730 points this week, y'all. Give it up. Give it up. Melissa Dills, I see you. 760 points this week. Yes, Tammy Stevenson. I don't think she's on the call, but I know she's going to watch the playback because she always does. 1,130 points this week. Amber Kidd, always on the calls. 2,180 points this week, y'all. Give it up, and drum roll, please, for our first place earner, Karen Holter, with 2,830 points this week. Now you're probably wondering, what did they win? I know that's what you were all wondering, because I forgot to do my little Vanna White and show you guys what you're winning. So I'm going to show y'all now, if I can get this to work. Hold up. Here it is. Okay, so I have these, y'all. They're amazing. They're called the Monster Supplement Medicine Pill Organizer Dispenser, 7 compartments and labels, bottle, extra large holder, fits. Okay, I'm done. Y'all, these fit 7 different types of capsules. They're amazing for travel. You're going to absolutely love them. I'm going to do a drawing, and I decided about halfway through this call to change something up, and y'all are going to help me with this. We're going to get more people on these calls if it's the last thing we do. So from now on, the second drawing has to be someone who's live on the call. At least that's how I'm doing it. Okay, so here we go. So I've got everybody's names here in a little cup. I'm gonna draw 2 winners. You're each gonna get one of the Monster Fit bottles. The first one is Tanya Wyatt. Yeah, give it up for Tanya, everybody. And the second one, here we go. Wow, they're really stuck in this little cup here. Vanessa Cloyd. Yes, ladies, please send me your addresses, and I will make sure to get those out yet tonight, maybe in the morning. But they will be coming to you very soon. Y'all are going to love those. And I'm even going to drop the link for those in Building Freedom, because I think they're that amazing. Jana, Stephanie, Sunday, do y'all have any final words for us?
Hey, I'm about to make a post on Building Freedom. I'm going to give you 24 hours to go do a live on your personal wall. So many of you are trying to figure out how to get those points up between now and the end of tomorrow night. And if you want to, she told you how to do it. She told you what to do tonight. It's up to you to go do it. Sit down, write out a little script. It can be a tight script, a loose script. You don't want to get on and ramble, but know what you're going to say and go do it. I'm going to make a post on Building Freedom. When you do it, comment, and I'm going to give away a prize. It'll be a good one too. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be really good. All right. 24 hours to go do your live. I expect my news feed should just be full of lives in the next 24 hours. And you guys, when you see somebody going live on this page, go comment. Remember, not just like a cool comment or like, yay, make a real comment. All right. So let's do it. That's your challenge in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, she said 6 words at least and add value. And I think it was Jana that posted in Building Freedom how it's really easy to just like somebody's stuff or to even love it, but to sit there and post and put that comment on there makes a huge difference. And I can tell you guys this, going live on Facebook is just another form of public speaking. And the more you do public speaking, the more comfortable you get with it, the better you get at it. So let's all, who's going to do it with me? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a live in the morning. Who else is going to do a live? Let's see it. Come on, get those hands up, get those hands up. All right. Our news feeds are going to be filled with lives all about Plexus. And I know that we're going to see it reflected in our virtual office. Guys, let me close us out in prayer and we'll go ahead and hop off here. Thank you for joining us tonight. And hey, do me a favor, Vanessa and Tanya, when you get your prizes, post about them on Facebook and say, I won this because I was on the team call. And then we're going to get more people on these calls. Okay, guys? Love y'all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for Megan. Thank you for her willingness to come and share with us. Lord, I just pray that you will just bless her for that, God. Lord, we have about 24 more hours left in this month. And God, we're asking that you reward our efforts and grow our businesses, Lord. God, we thank you for Plexus. We thank you for the gift that it is. Most importantly, we thank you for your son and for sending him to die on a cross for us. Lord Jesus, we love you. We pray all these things in your name. Amen. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful night.